Hello, everybody. The new Hearthstone expansion was just announced, and usually I wait until they're actually released until I look at anything, except for the trailer. This time I'm going to do it a little bit different. This time I'm actually going to not only watch the trailer, but I'm going to look at everything that the initial release has to offer. I'm not going to do the thing that like all the other like Hearthstone guys do on YouTube where they review the cards as they come out. I just don't think that's a good way to do it. I think it's better to wait until opening day or close to when all of the cards are revealed, and then actually review the cards as you get them. Because I'm not going to get all the cards. I didn't get all the cards last expansion. I'm not going to get all the cards this expansion, and I want to look at the cards that I got. I know that doesn't like help a lot of people who are getting the cards that I'm not getting, because you know we're all getting different cards, so it would be normally better to look at all the cards, but I don't want to go off the assumption that I'm getting all the cards. You know, everyone is always thinking about how they synergize with this card and how they synergize with that card and how you really want to get all their cards together, but what do you do if you don't get those cards? I want to look at it in that sort of sense, and to do that I have to not review it that same way. So I don't know, maybe I'll do it differently this time around. Maybe I'll look at all the cards and I'll just try to stay singular with that card. But we'll just see how it goes. See what people want here. So first, we're gonna watch the new trailer because I'm always interested in the new trailers.
This poor town has seen its share of trials. Now we face a new force, sinuous and vile.
Something wicked, twisting trees and turning them to will. Some diabolic expertise strives to break our will.
Do my eyes play tricks on me? Will monsters seal our doom? What were those things?
What did I see?
Hiding in this gloom. We're turned around and taunted, but moonlight is our friend.
The way ahead is haunted, our hackles stand on end. We'll make our stand right here, our choice is crystal clear.
She's got a crossbow in her picnic basket.
Beasts,
Oh shit, they're working. Cool. All right, I like that. Let's look at that a little bit more closely. So, obviously, like in World of Warcraft, like this must be Gilneas, yeah? Because there's not very many sort of. It could be Brayden's Brook, but no, we're going with Gilneas. And we got the crow, we got the arrows, we got them going through the wood. All the trees are moving. We have the thing in the background. So, I think it's weird that she's holding a torch and he's holding a lantern, but she's also holding like a picnic basket. So we got the rats here. Are the rats going to be a card? Because they don't look like normal rats either. They look kind of like were-rats. But they're not rats of unusual size. Although that would be cool too. Get a nice little Princess Bride reference. We got ghosts moving in the background. We got... See, if this is Gilneas, then those are just Forsaken spies. But if this is Brayden's Brook, then those are actually undead night elves. So we've got witches or something, like night elf witches or Forsaken. We have... That is a demon interrogator from the Legion. That's a haunted looking treant of some kind. Sort of looks like the Ironwood Protector, except ghostly. So yeah, she pulls the crossbow out of her out of her picnic basket. And he throws down the lantern and it crashes, and then they're all scared. We have a weird haunted stump from League of Legends. So, what are those? What's up there in the hanging tree? I hope that's not people. All right, so on the whole, yeah, it looks cool. It looks all right with the haunted theme. I am sort of not happy they called it Witchwood, because in World of Warcraft, Witchwood is in High Mountain. It's the nesting ground for the High Mountain harpies, and it's where that Etten is walking around in circles. There are, like, harpy witches as well that put curses on the sky falcons or sky ravens or whatever. But, like, if you're gonna do harpies, don't do Witchwood. But if you're doing this, why call it Witchwood? I don't understand that. Like, I understand you want Haunted Forest, but why not call it the Blackwald, which is what I'm assuming this more accurately represents, or Silver Pine Forest, or the Shadow of Gilneas, or Shadowfang, like Shadowfang Keep, the Sepulchre, do something around there. Why call it Witchwood? It's just not right. Witchwood, if you wanted Witchwood in this connotation, you'd think more Diddy Kong Racing, wouldn't you? Or whatever that place is called, the Haunted Wood. Alright, so let's look at the cards here. The cards that they've very first announced here. So these are the cards that are showing off the new mechanics, as well as a couple of legendaries. So the first new mechanic is the start of game mechanic, which Baku the Moon Eater and Gen Greymane have. I'm so happy Gen Greymane is finally a frickin' card. I'm not too sure I like it in this connotation. I kind of would have rathered it be some sort of an evolve card where it, like, swaps back and forward. But, like, where you've got the human side and the Worgen side. But, I mean, I guess this is alright too. So, let's go over them one by one. Baku the Moon Eater, 9 cost, 7/8. Pretty okay stats, not amazing by any means, but it's a legendary. Start of game. If your deck has only odd cost cards, upgrade your hero power. I like that this is neutral, because there are a few different hero powers that really benefit from being upgraded. Like, Warlocks, you just draw a card, you don't take your life away. For Warriors, it's gain 4 armor instead of 2. For Hunters, it's not that great. I don't remember what it does. I think it just allows you to aim your 2 damage instead of dealing 2 damage to face. Or is it deal forfeit damage to face? I can't remember which one it is. It might actually just be deal 3 damage to face, which is awful. I can't remember. My brain won't remember. Shaman, you just get to choose which totem you put out, which is good, but like, it's it would really depend on the deck you're doing. If you're doing like a totem deck, that can be good, but otherwise it's just sort of For druids, it's gain +2/+2 attack and 2 armor instead of 1, which is, it's pretty alright. It's basically claw, so yeah. For mage, it's deal 2 damage with your fireball, which is just kind of okay. So yeah, I can see some use for this. It would really depend on which class you're playing, whether or not this is good. I'm trying to think of which ones it would be good for in terms of the actual, like, odd cost card thing. Because druids love their even cost cards. Mages love their even cost cards. Warlocks don't really care. All their good ones are odd cost cards already. 1 costs, 3 costs, and 5 costs. So with Warlock, Baku the Moon Eater is probably going to be really good. But otherwise, I think it's just going to be okay. Next one is Azalina Soul Thief. I remember her in World of Warcraft. I think I remember her in World of Warcraft. No, maybe that wasn't her. I'm thinking of the Forsaken that traps you in Blackwald, and you have to use the magical gem you get in the quest to, like, turn it off and then kill her. but she wasn't a witch. She was just a Forsaken spy, so maybe not. Maybe not. 7 cost 3/3, garbage stats, absolutely awful. You have to depend entirely on the effect. Battle Cry, replace your hand with a copy of your opponent's. So it doesn't swap. It turns your cards into your opponent's hand. That can be good and bad. It can be good because now you know your opponent's strategy. It's bad because unless your opponent's strategy can be countered by its own strategy, that's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. And you have to replace your hand with it. It can be good if you don't have a hand. Like if your opponent has 8 cards and you have 2, and they're not essential cards, you replace those 2 cards with 8 cards. And that's really good. So, in that sense, in decks that don't hinge on having a large hand, you could use this card to get a quick hand. It would take your whole turn, but it's basically sort of like that 7 cost draw 4 cards, except you're also putting a 3/3 on the board, and you're not just drawing 4 cards potentially. You're potentially drawing more, which can be good. 7 cost draw 6 cards that are not of your class could potentially be worth 7 plus a 3/3. 3/3 is worth what? A 3/3 is worth 2, I would think. 1.5 up to 2. So it's really a 5 cost draw X cards. Draw as many cards as your opponent, basically. Except you're not drawing, you're creating, which is better. So I could see it. I could see it in a fast deck. In a faster deck that relies on throwing out tons of cards. This could be a good way of filling up your hand again. So I can see it. It's very, very niche, but I could see it. Getting Greymane. 6 cost 6/5. Not bad, not bad. It's not great. It would be better as a 5/6 than a 6/5 in my opinion, but it's not bad. Start of game. If your deck has only even cost cards, your starting hero power costs 1. That is definitely good in decks that aren't going to upgrade your hero power to begin with. So, I mean, in Wild, you might want True Silver, or what's that card's name? I can't remember the name. The name that the one that upgrades your hero power. You would probably want upgrading your hero power over this. But if your deck already really likes even cost cards like Mage or Druid, then making it cost 1 is definitely good. In Wild, you could combine this with Inspire decks, which would be really, really good. But making your hero power cost 1 isn't amazing, to be perfectly honest. 6 cost 6/5 isn't bad, though. And having this... Like, you don't have to pay the 6 mana to get the start of game effect, so this is from the beginning of the game, so you definitely get that early game lead as well. But I think we need more Inspire cards for that to be worth it. The Baku the Moon Eater seems better. Just in the effect, not the card itself. Although the card itself is better. I don't know which one is better. I think actually Gen Greymane is more accurately statted than Baku. But at the same time, Gen's effect is less impressive than Baku's. Unless we get more Inspire cards. But I don't know that that's going to happen. Next, we have the Phantom Militia. 3 cost 2/4, Echo and Taunt. Echo is a new thing as well. Echo is much like the Unstable Mutation, or whatever it's called, the Shaman card where you can evolve a thing over and over and over again. That's what this is. Echo. You play it, And then if you have 3 mana left over, you can play it again. And if you have 3 mana left over, you can play it again. So it's more like a 9-cost summon 3 Phantom Militia with 2 and 4 in taunt. Along those lines. So, in that sense, it's actually pretty good. 3 cost 2/4 isn't bad to begin with. 3 cost 2/4 with taunt is not bad to begin with. But 3 cost 2/4 that you can play over and over again is potentially really good. Although it does sort of suck that the more times you play it, the less valuable it is, if that makes any sense. Like a 6 cost 4/8 is just not great. It's a great taunt, but it's not a very effective card. And a 9 cost 6/12 I think already exists, and it's not played often. On the plus side, a priest would have a harder time removing it. Because it is 3 cards with 4 health. So Dustbringer won't get rid of it. And it's not one big taunt they can get rid of with a power word death or whatever. It's a bunch of little cards that have to get rid of. But do you want to spend your entire turn on 3 2/4s with taunt? I'm not convinced. But if you could well, no, you can't even hand buff it, because it doesn't play the same card over again. It puts it back into your hand. And it's fresh again, I'm pretty sure. So it's not a... You can't, like, hand buff it and play it as a 3/5, a 3/5, and a 3/5, you know what I mean? It has to be... It would be like a 3/5 and then a 2/4 and a 2/4. Which still ain't bad. But it's not as worth it. Like, its value diminishes the more times you play it. But it's a great board filler. It's a great card in that you can play it like if it's your only card in your hand, like you got an empty hand and you top deck this, you have a whole turn on turn 10. Which is great. So I definitely think Echo has merit. But Phantom Militia, we'll just have to see. It's just an okay card. If there's a better card with Echo, then that card is going to be premium. But if Phantom Militia is the best we see, then Phantom Militia is probably going to be the only thing that's played with Echo. Other than Unstable Mutation. Next, and finally... Militia Commander, 4 cost, 2/5 with Rush. Rush is another new mechanic, sort of, kind of like Echo, where it already existed before. Rush, you gain charge, but you can't hit the hero. You have to hit a minion. And Battlecry, gain 3 attack this turn. So on the turn you play it, it's a 5/5 against a minion. And then next turn, it's a 2/5 against anything. So you'd want to play Militia Commander and immediately kill it. you would want to, because it's a 4-cost 5/5 with charge, essentially, as long as you only hit minions. Which is great! That's amazing! So you want to capitalize on that +3 attack. You want to play it, and you want to kill that worm that they managed to get out early, or you want to play it and you want to destroy whatever thing they're buffing. It's a oh, you're trying to build something really big really early? Well, no. that's that card, and in that sense, it's really good at that. Because it doesn't even matter how much health it has. If you're going in for the kill, there's a chance that it'll survive with 5 health. And that's good. So it is a 5/5 on its turn, and then probably a 2/1 on its next turn. If they don't kill it immediately afterward. So it is a straight up reactionary card. But it is a powerful reaction. That word I said first. reaction card. So, it's warrior, which I think is all about that sort of thing. This card would definitely be good if you already have a weapon in hand, and they just played a taunt. And you're like, bam, nope, no taunt for you, and then you hit him in the face with your weapon. Or you hit him in the face with some other thing that's already on the board. Or like if it's in the late game, this is also pretty good in the late game, if you've got like a weapon that has a large amount of attack, or a minion that has a large amount of attack, but then they place a taunt on the board, and crap. You don't want to destroy your weapon by running it into the taunt. You don't want to kill your powerful minion by running it into the taunt. You play this. It gets rid of the taunt. It is a straight-up reaction card, but it is a very, very good reaction card, I feel. And I definitely think that this has a place in Warrior, where you want that sort of get-out-of-taunt freeze kind of card. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, so I think those are all the cards, but let's check the view all cards here. Oh no, there's a few more. There's a few more. Oh, there's one more. The Pumpkin Peasant. 3 cost, 2/4. We've already shown how that's, yeah. But instead of having Taunt and Echo, it has Lifesteal, and each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health. This, I don't know. 3 cost, 2/4, and 3 cost 4/2 with Lifesteal. Both of those are pretty okay. Not amazing, but then it's a common. It's just sort of okay. Hand buffing it would be great, which you can do. The problem I have with it is that each turn it's in your hand, it swaps its attack and health. So it really, really depends on when you play this card. And it's going to be really, really upsetting when you need something that can last a long time on the board, but it's in its 4/2 stage. Or you need something that can do a lot of damage, but it's in its 2/4 stage. But if you can buff this, I think that might be a moot point. Especially if you can buff specifically the thing that it's missing, then you can time it out to play, like, you could play this, and then you could play the Paladin card that does +3 attack and Divine Shield, and suddenly its stats, like, the swapping thing is a moot point because it's strong regardless. It's a 5/4 now for 6. It's a 6 cost 5/4 with Lifesteal. With Divine Shield as well, so it rounds around worth it. It's right around worth it. I think it's properly statted, not overly impressive. A playable card. It's not garbage, but it's not impressive, I think. It's yeah. A very good pack filler. Great in hand buffs or buffs in general. This is a Paladin card. A Paladin card, or possibly potentially a Druid card. But probably nothing else. It could be a Warlock with a Lifesteal, but they have enough Lifesteal now, so they don't really need it. Yeah, it's probably, yeah. Alright, so those are the cards. I'm done here. I hope that was good. Goodbye, everybody.